Hello friends, welcome back to the Steampunk Saga. So we've done a lot of things over the weekend. Let me walk you through some of those big changes. Number one, we had to set up the area that we're going to prepare for our brand new barracks building. Now this is going to require a lot of room because this is one of the biggest buildings in the pack. So we've used the schematic cannon to clear out the entire top of this mountain. It's a massive flat space that is brimming with potential. Now also, it was high time we decorated our industrial trench, so I've added some copper pipes here as decoration. I think they look amazing. And there's also a set of stairs so the colonists can get down here much easier. Amazing. Now something else on our big list of things to do was this railway bridge. Check it out. We've made a massive railway bridge here using girders from Create and a lot of copper chains. I think it looks pretty cool. Now we also discovered that the railway line is actually a blocker for the colonists. They can't cross it. So what I've also done is built this pretty cool little steampunk subway that colonists can use to get underneath the railway. Dotting those around is going to come in really handy. And also, we didn't need as many steam engines as we had. I took a look, reconfigured things, and worked out that just 2 big boilers produces enough steam power to run all of the things on this side of the workshop. So things look much tidier here as well. So what's on the docket for today's episode? Well, we're going to be looking at this area here. We have this massive supporting column that holds up our kind of like lean over for the cave. And I think this is going to be perfect to try out Create elevators. So let's jump in game and put them through their paces. Okay, yeah, so number one, and this is pretty exciting, we're going to be building a barracks tower. Now, the barracks tower is absolutely huge. Well, no, not the barracks tower, the actual barracks. It's super simple to make, check this out. Just some wood, the build tool, and some iron blocks. Now, we're going to need an iron block, for sure. There we go, loads of iron. Man, wow, look at all those nuggets. Why have we got so many nuggets? I don't know. But that at the computer, go over to barracks, and we should be able to make this very simply. There we go, grab the build tool, and now we need to find the Quadimodo so we can get this into position. Where is the Quadimodo? Man, I always park this around the colony. It's just like a car in real life, in like a big car park. Like I need like a buzzer key, so I can just go boop, boop, to kind of find the car. Is that how it works? Yeah, maybe. Anyway, yeah, well, why not take the train? Yeah, I can just ride the train around the colony. See if we can find the Quadimodo using the train. Yeah, that's a great idea. Oh, yeah. Also, it's been a while, and yeah, oh, actually, let's take a closer look at this bridge that I built while we're going through it. So I made use of the metal girders from Create to build most of this bridge. It looks fantastic. And we've used large copper chains as a bit of like support, as well as wooden supports to kind of break things up, some copper casing, and this is brass scaffolding. Now I didn't want to use electrum chains because I think copper is a better look, and also we haven't got that much electrum, so that was pretty tough. And finally, these shroom lights from Chipped make great lights. Now, where are you, Quadimodo? So this bridge is pretty cool. I like the look of it. And what we'll have to do is also copy that style over to this bridge and decorate this in the same way. The whole colony is looking really steampunk now, and I love it. Also, you can see here in the background behind these construction huts, I have decorated these walls. I wanted to use pipes around the colony because I think they're going to really add to the idea this is a steampunk world. If we're not careful, the amount of stone brick and logs and things we're using, this is really just going to look like a medieval world. So those pipes and the girders are really going to bring back that steampunk element. Now, where are you, Quadimodo? Also, yeah, we'll take a stop here. Slow down, man. The train takes ages to slow down. But yeah, can I get off? There we go. So check it out, yeah, these little subways are going to be really cool as well. They're pretty nicely decorated. Use these brass lamps to light it up so our colonists can see in the little subway section, but this is a great way for our colonists to get over the railway lines, which they do actually have a problem with. Aha! There he is, old Quaddy. He's got some smoke lines, which means we need to repair him. Give it a bit of a right click. There we go. Also, I don't think I've got much coal left in this thing. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, running pretty low. So a bit of a top up there. Bam, 60. Should keep us going for a long time. Now, we've got to use this quadcopter so we can position the barracks. Man, it's so useful having this vehicle in Minecolonies. I will honestly say, yeah, put Immersive Aircraft in any mod pack you're using where you're using Minecolonies, because placing buildings with this thing is so powerful. It's almost like you're playing SimCity. It's that easy. Oh yeah, look at this. This thing is a beast. It's so huge. Now, since we can't actually build this yet because the colony boundaries aren't big enough, what we can do is get it into the right position first, get it up to level 5, because this is what the bad boy's going to look like when it's done, and it's going to be very impressive. Oh man, yeah, can you imagine this when we finished it? It's going to be amazing. Not quite amazing as the cathedral from Byzantine, but man, what is? So positioning wise, that looks pretty good. We've got enough space along the front for a path. Maybe we'll extend that, go back a bit, because I quite like a nice big garden out of the front entrance as well. Yeah, oh man, this thing is going to be so good when we get it to level 5. I cannot wait. But what we can do is mark where the red block is. That way, when we come back to build it, we know exactly where to put this block. And honestly, that's a really good way to design your colony. Sometimes you want to lay things out and plan things, but you can't plan because your boundaries aren't big enough yet. What you can do is come over like this and mark where you want to put buildings in the future. Anyway, let's get on to the real meat of this episode. It's create elevators. So this is the area we want to get to. Basically, we need a way to get up to our ore factory, our guard towers, and our airport, and maybe some of the other buildings that are going to be up on this hill in the future. We could use these stairs, and we will add a staircase over here, so if you want to, you can use the stairs, but if you're like me, I will always take the elevator if one's available, because stairs are for chumps, and people who like exercise, which I'm neither of, so yeah. Well, maybe I'm a chump. But anyway, yeah, the reason why we made this pillar so thick and hollow on the inside is because it's the perfect place to put an elevator. We can put one in here and use it to go all the way up. Oh man, we could just use the quadcopter. Just park the quadcopter here, that's way better. But I do think this will be a great way to get up here using a create elevator. So here we go, put the barracks tower back in here. We'll come back and build that once we've gathered up that area with guard towers. So what are we going to need for a create elevator? Well, let's take a look. So elevators from create are very simple. You have the pulley block. This is the meat of the elevator. You create a cabin, put a redstone contact in, and glue it all together. Very simple. You can use controls to make moving the elevator simpler, and I think we'll do that, and also the whole thing needs power. Very cool. Once the elevator is connected, this redstone contact becomes a special elevator contact. And we can configure it to make sure we give the floor a name or something. And any redstone contact in the same vertical line as the previous one becomes another floor. Okay, very cool. And the movement speed of the elevator depends on how much rotational force is going through this thing. So the quicker these cogs are spinning, the quicker the lift goes. I like the idea of a slow lift, but that could get very frustrating. Oh man, wow, there's a lot to lift, so you can use display links to show what floor the elevator's on. Wow. Next up, synchronized pulley movement. Do we want to look at this? What's this? Oh, look at this. So we can have multiple elevators. Other pulleys on the same layer will connect to the structure. So we can. I'm not sure if that's why you do that. Maybe it's for looks. Ah, okay, they're purely cosmetic. That could be pretty cool though. Well, okay, so that gives us a bit of a shopping list for what we're going to want to make. Number 1, the elevator pulley. Ooh, now we've got brass casing, we've got iron sheets. Do we have any kelp? I think we got kelp. 16 left, man. I need to go back to my kelp farm. But we'll turn this into a block of kelp. How do we do this? Oh no, we've got to dry the kelp first. So, down to our dryer. So there we go, we've used the smoker now to dry the kelp, and that's all good to go. We'll turn this into a block, get back up to our workshop. Who's this? Oh, it's Dogus. Woof. Oh my god, look at those pants. That's amazing. And he's a streamer, apparently. Yeah. Oh no! Oh, Dogus, you bastard. We just gave Dogus one of our kelps. I'm going to have to go and try some more. Oh, well, let's see what he wants to get in the colony, because I wouldn't mind a Dogus. 1 diamond pickaxe? That's not actually too bad. I'm going to get him. Also, Arctic Longstaff, yeah, we'll get you too, but what do you cost? 11 diamonds. So we'll go and check if I have enough diamonds. I think we'll need like 14 total, but I'm fairly sure I have that. Ah, Mr. Dogus. Come here. There you go. Recruit for 1 diamond pickaxe. His stats are okay. He's not amazing, but that's a pretty cheap price. And he's got a unique 1 name, which is pretty cool. I like having that around. No surname for Dogus. And where did Arctic go? Are you in here? There you go, Longstaff himself. Or herself. Themself. There we go. So 11 diamonds and urine as well. Urine as well? Better get my mind out of the toilet and back into the workshop. So here we go, back in business. So we want 1 elevator pulley. This is really all we're gonna need. We're also gonna need some shafts and the basics. We'll need loads of these, so I will take 3 stacks. And some gears. Now, oh wait, no, I want the regular cogwheels on the half shafts. There we go. And we'll take some big ones just in case. So the question now is, what kind of power do we want to use to power this elevator? Well, I do have those water wheels that I freed up earlier. So that could be a good decision. There aren't really many other power options we haven't explored. We've done steam, we've done windmills, and we've done water mills. I think that's about it. If you add Create New Age, which is an add-on to Create, I think you might get some alternative power methods. In fact, I think it even does nuclear power, which sounds crazy, but we're not going to have a nuclear-powered elevator. That sounds like it might be a bit overkill. Oh, and of course, this thing will not work unless we go and grab some gearboxes as well. Oh wait, we also need to design the elevator itself. So I'm going to use some of those metal supports. They looked quite amazing. Although, what other supports do I have? Well, I've got 1 wooden one left. Okay, so we're going to use metal, because that's what we got. I'll grab some girders if I have any spare. Yeah, fair few. We'll take some diagonal girders, just in case, because we might get something that looks pretty good. And we'll also need some casing. So what kind of casing do I have? Okay, a fair few. Well, I like the idea of brass. Let's go for a brass lift. Yeah, that should contrast quite well against the metal. And of course, we'll need some redstone contacts. Okay. Man, so that's one of those things, right? So in England, we call elevators lifts because that's what they do. They lift you up. But oh, that's a bit dodgy. But in America, you guys call them elevators, which I guess is probably a bit of a boring fact, but there you go. And while I'm a big fan of Americanisms, I mean, I use a lot of American words, and I get into some flack for that from my friends, but honestly, lift has less syllables than elevator, so I'm going to say lift. Now, I think it's actually going to be much easier to design this elevator if we start at the top, but we're going to need the bottom down here to put the power in. So as luck would have it, we kind of kept this underwater lake pond thing in the cave. I didn't know why, I thought it looked cool, didn't want to overwrite it. But it's actually going to come in really handy now because it's a great place to put some water wheels. So here we go, we have logs on the side now, but we need to make this water move. So we're going to come underneath, grab those planks. Here we go, this will be good. This will work quite well. And we'll put a floor in here that we can quite easily manipulate. There we go. Now, all we really need to do is block off one of these pieces of water, get it to flow again, and is this going to work? Yeah, there we go. It's very, very slow, but we do have rotational speed now. And now it's just a case of digging all the way up and filling this entire column with shafts. Very simple. Do you know what? The Quadimodo would make this much, much easier. Let's go grab it. Oh, gotta be careful we don't accidentally dig up all of the logs, because the Tree Feller mod, while it's amazing, does come with its problems. There we go, now we position the shafts. So if I come along here, put the shafts in my hotbar, we might need a couple of stacks of these. And we'll put the casings on our bar as well. What we want to do, man, the Quasimodo kind of gets in the way here, but I think we can do this, no worries. There we go. Now when we get to the areas where the logs are supposed to be, let's try adding casing here. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. And that way we can kind of keep the integrity and style of the elevator shaft in position. And another shaft, and okay, let's keep going all the way to the top. Now we want to design the actual elevator cabin. So much like in the style that was done in the preview, I think we're going to go for something very simple here. We've only got 3x3 to work with, so we're not going to go too crazy. These supports should work quite well. And I want there to be like 3 blocks. There we go. Yeah, perfect. This gives us a 3-block high cabin to kind of crawl into and get going. What else do we want? We want a roof, of course, as well. But you know what? Let's get a bit crazy with the roof. Let's try using girders. So here we go, we've got these diagonal girders, and these things are amazing. We're going to plonk these like this. Looking good. It's getting a bit late though, so I'm going to have a sleep. And now we'll connect these up with girders, and this just looks a little bit interesting, a little bit different to the regular style. Amazing. Now we're going to want to have the actual elevator pulley. Okay, this is where things get pretty interesting and tech. So let's go and grab Quasimodo. Right, so we're going to jump into the Quasimodo now. And place the elevator pulley. So we have it. We did craft it, didn't we? I have got it. Wait, where is it? There it is. Elevator pulley. And we're going to put this smack bam in the middle. But we also want it to face the right way. I didn't bring my wrench, so we're going to be lazy here. And just kind of... There we go. Put it down until it goes into the right position automatically. Amazing. So this bad boy needs some power. We're going to hook it up with the shafts like this. Bring a vertical gearbox over here like this. But before we connect it up, before we actually power this thing, I'm going to go back to my workshop, grab that wrench and some glue. Okay, compadres, here we go. We've got the glue and we've got the wrench. So what we want to do is connect all of the elevator up. So we'll right click on the bottom left here. And we'll right click over here. Oh, but before we do need the elevator contact. So we're going to get the redstone contacts, plonk this on the side of the elevator. Now, this is a question. Do we want to put this on the elevator? Because what we could do is put it inside the elevator as part of the block. I think that's probably the better option here. So we'll try it at least. Either it works or it doesn't. But we'll give it a go. So there we go. The redstone contact is part of the lift. This looks much neater than having a block on top of the elevator. So now that's in position, we'll get the glue back out and we'll glue this entire thing together. Like that. And up here, like this. Okay, perfect. The entire lift is connected. Now we'll plug it in with the shaft. Okay. Now if we right click with the wrench on the elevator pulley. No, that's not doing anything. Maybe we need an open hand here. Aha! So as you can see, when I right click on this thing, it does become a lift. The color changes, and I think that means it's becoming an entity. Because entities can't really have shadows very well, so yeah. Now we need to put the redstone contacts in to mark the different floors. Now eventually what we're going to have is contacts on multiple floors so we can get out of this lift at multiple points and go to different places. But for now, all we want is to go from the top to the bottom. Oh no, oh my god. I'm never going to recover from this. What we'll do for now is put some framework blocks over here just to make this a bit easier. Put down the contact like that. Oh yeah, look at this. So it's changed color to the special kind of elevator contact that we want. Get rid of that dirt. And you know what? I think we're looking pretty good. Now we're going to go down and put an elevator contact far below. Now it says you can put the elevator contact on the same kind of axes, but I am worried there might be a limit for how far an elevator can go. So we'll go all the way down to the bottom, put one on the bottom level, and see if that is not too far for us to have a lift. And here we go. Does it change color? Yes, it does. This is also still an elevator block. That's amazing news. Okay, so we're almost good to go. We've got the elevator pulley. It's powered by this water wheel. The shaft goes all the way up, and it's all connected and glued. We've got 2 redstone contacts. Get rid of this dirt. So we're kind of ready to go. All we need now is contraption controls. And this should be interesting. I've never used these before, so we're going to go over and make some. So there it is. That's the block we want. The contraption controls. It said it was called. So let's see if we can find that in the menu. Contraption. There it is. Contraption controls. And yes, these are different to train controls. Okay, so very important to note that if you try and put the contraption controls on this elevator while the elevator is active and enabled, it won't work. The contraption controls will disappear. So if you right-click on the elevator pulley, it stops being a proper lift, and you can put down the contraption controls. There we go, and I think that glue particle effect means we did actually glue it. Now if we right-click with the pulley, here we go. Right, so the contraption controls, you right-click on this. Wait, what's going on? Are these facing the right way? I think they are. I think now we actually have to name the floors. So if we right-click on the redstone contact, this is floor number 2. This is the second floor. And we'll say this is the top floor. No, we're going to say airport level. Airport level. Terminal 2. Tick. Now we'll go down to the bottom one and set that to 1. Now this is actually another weird thing about America versus England. So in England, I think we have like the ground floor is the ground floor, and then the next floor up is the first floor. And I think in America, the bottom floor is the first floor. I don't know how it works, but I'm fairly sure there's a difference. So we right click on this contact, and this is going to be the basement. So this is we'll say floor number 1 for now, and we'll call this the basement. And now we'll go up to the top. Aha, right, so we have to use the scroll wheel on the contraption control. So airport level 2, no, we want the basement. Now we'll right click, press the button. Oh yes, it's working. Oh my god, this is so good, my dudes. Going down? Yes, we are. Oh man, this is so cool. There is one big problem. Well, no, actually there's 2 big problems. Wait, where's that going? What's happening there? The elevator controls have abandoned us. Okay, no worries. So this is way too slow. It's a nice view of the colony. I think we'll change these wooden fences to bars, something that we can see out of, because I don't want to lose this amazing view of the colony. But yeah, for one, this elevator is way too slow. We need to speed it up. Also, number 2, what do you do if you're at a level and the elevator isn't there? We need a way to call the elevator to you. Luckily enough though, that's very simple to set up with some levers. So we're back over here at the workshop because we're going to need a couple of things. We're going to want some levers. Yeah, 2 should do because we've only got 2 floors for the moment. Another thing we're going to want to do is have a way to speed up what's going on with the elevator. Now, usually we'd use like a weird gear setup that would automatically change the speed, but what I'm going to try and use is something I haven't looked into yet. It's a speed controller. Now, these should not be hard to make. We've got the mechanisms and we've got the brass casings, so there we go. And this is a really powerful, really cool tool to use. Let's put it through its paces. So the rotation speed controller, how does this work? Well, we'll ponder it to get a good idea. You put it down, it creates a massively big cogwheel, and you can change the speed at which that cogwheel spins. Very simple. Okay, that looks pretty cool. It does mean we're going to have to rejig this setup, to make it fit in place. So we'll get this out of the way, get this unpowered, and if we put the speed controller here on top of these, get into the Quadimodo, like this, it should all hook up. We'll need to remove that one. There we go, now it's facing the right direction, but it does need rotational force from the side instead. So time to use some of these gearboxes and get that all set up. Should be very simple, just a gearbox there, and then a gearbox there, and shafts connecting the two. Here we go. Okay, very cool. So it is spinning, but it's not spinning at the right speed, and also it hasn't created that massive cogwheel. So I think what we have to do is create our own cogwheel and plug it in. Got the large cogwheels here. Let's try putting this on. Oh yeah, there we go. It's all connected and all working. And already it's moving at a much quicker speed. Now we can actually configure the speed ourselves with an open hand on the speed controller, hold right click, and here we go. We can take this all the way up if we want to 256. But you gotta be careful. More speed needs more power, and we've only got one water wheel spinning this, so max speed isn't quite gonna cut it. What about 100? That's a good number. Okay, yeah, 100 is still ludicrously fast and supported by our water wheel. Now, like we also mentioned, we need a way to get the lift to come up to this level. So we're going to put, for now, a lever on the redstone contact, like this. This should work. And when I pull this lever, it should bring the lift to us. Oh my god, yeah, here it comes. And at ludicrous speed. Oh, that's so good. So let's take the lift down so we can put the lever on the bottom level. Scroll with the mouse wheel to basement 1, right click, and oh yeah, that's amazing. This is actually quite a nice speed. Now I've actually had what I think is quite a good idea. What if we put the redstone contacts on the entrance instead? So we move it from this side over to here, and we can put a pressure plate here. So basically all you need to do is walk up to the lift, it activates the redstone contact, and brings the lift to you. That could be really cool. Let's try that. But also what we're going to have to do as well is decorate the top of the shaft, because at the moment it's a bit exposed, the lift comes up and it looks very dirty. So let's get that changed. So here we go, my dudes, gaze upon the glory of our finished elevator. We've got loads and loads of girders and diagonal girder supports with a shroom-like chipped block. There's a light source up there and these wooden supports. We've moved the redstone contacts over to this side so we can basically come to the entrance of the lift, step on the pressure plate, and this should call the lift automatically to our level. But let's try that out. So we're going to send it now via the controls to the basement level. Off it goes. So it's been a long, hard day at work. Oh man, you're at the office, you're on the top floor, you want to go home, you want a quick elevator. So you walk over here, you stand on the pressure plate, and it zooms its way all the way up. Now we do get this weird kind of leftover contraption control thing going on. I think that's a bit buggy, but that's fine. But yeah, the lift works. Now I think it goes a bit too quick, because I want to be able to admire the view. So we're going to bring it down from 100 to about 64, because we're binary boys. And now let's jump in, go to basement level. Yeah, this is a much more agreeable speed. We get a nice view of the colony, but we do get down to the bottom in pretty quick time. Oh, amazing. Oh, the lift works. This is super cool. Fantastic stuff. So the lift is in position, that works. We're all good to go. Before we end this episode, I want to place down the mechanic's hut. I want to get a time lapse of this thing going up. Now I do have a mechanic's hut in my computer. Let's go and grab that, the Quadimodo, and work out a position to place this. Oh yeah, you know what, my dudes? This slots in perfectly behind the hospital. We'll move it over 1 so it's flush with that fence, that hedge. This is going to be pretty cool. Yeah, this is the perfect spot. Doesn't look like it clashes with anything, so let's get the materials and get this built. So the mechanics hut. Now it's a shame that we couldn't actually fit this inside the industrial trench, but I think it's totally fine. There's other buildings we can put there. We can also put some cool decoration. So it's really not the end of the world. Now the mechanics hut is a very important building. There's a lot of items that only the mechanic can make. But not only that, the gates from mine colonies that are used for some of the buildings, unless you can find them on existing colonies that have been abandoned around the world, they're the only way to make those gates that are required for some builds. So it is indeed a very important building, and I think, you know what, in its spot over here, behind the hospital, this looks really good. There's so much we also have to do around the colony. For example, we're going to need loads of roads around, we're going to have to do decorations. Also, I think a great way to populate empty spaces around the colony where we haven't put any buildings is going to be using those giant fir trees. Bringing in a touch of nature to your colony is a great way to populate areas where you can't quite fit a building or a decoration. So we'll see. We've still got a lot of room to fill, but we've also got a fair few buildings we still have to construct. That reminds me, we will need to get those guard towers built, so next episode we can at least start on the barracks. We are, however, going to leave it at level 1, so let's jump in game and hire a mechanic. Right, so here we are. Okay, and the building is huge. Now, I'm not used to mechanics huts being this big, and I think the reason it's so big is because, yeah, it builds some cool, weird redstone stuff. Holding cell. Pressing the button remembers the state of the level at the repeaters. What? What is going on here? So I have no idea what this machine is or what it does. I don't know. If you know what this is, then do let me know. But we are going to need to hire a mechanic. So who's got good stats for this? Oh my god. Well, it looks like all of the other dudes that we hired, even Mr. Doggus himself, have become guards. And that means Arctic Longstaff is the only dude. His stats aren't that bad for this though. So Arctic Longstaff, you are our new mechanic. Get on over here. What do you look like? Oh my god, wow. I think this is possibly my favorite skin yet. That looks so steampunk. Very amazing. Anyway, Arctic, welcome to the crew. So a massive thank you for watching this episode, my dudes. We did a lot of decorating around the colony, got the area prepared for our barracks, which I hope we can do next episode. Now, in other news, if you are a fan of Trouble in Terrorist Town, don't forget to check out our Discord, because tonight we're going to be playing on our brand new Trouble in Terrorist Town server with the community. It should be a lot of fun, so jump in for that, and for other games that we do regularly. But as always, a massive thank you for watching, and until next time, my dudes, take care.